Good morning, friends. Yesterday I taught about the biography of our greatest poet, Nizam Nizam. And today I want to discuss about marriage poem. The title is a marriage. First of all, friends, Nizam occupies an important place in the post-independence Indian English literature. He is versatile genius and his poetic achievement inspired the millions of the Indian. Marriage is one of the finest of the love poem written by Nizam Nizam. This poem is a love poem. The main theme of this poem is the love and marriage. The poet extends his own experience without any frustration, without any hesitations, without any bondage. The poet explores the theme of the love and marriage in these particular poems. The poet explores the various facets of love and marriage in this particular poem. The theme is always love. In this poem, the poet has described, the poet has explained the vivid portrayal of the two stages of growth in love, two stages of growth in marriage, two stages. The poet explores the two stages of love in this particular poem. The first stage of love, during the time of the marriage, the first stage of love, joy, honeymoon, enjoyment, pleasure. These are the stages. In the marriage. During the first time of the marriage, you have a lot of enjoyment, you have a lot of joy, you have a honeymoon, and you have a illusion also. Even in marriage, the poet has presented the marriage life in India. The poet Nizam Nizam has presented the marriage life of India, and the poem is a lucid and natural without any intricate poetic fly. The marriage is in India is predetermined. In our Indian culture, marriage is a predetermined. પહેલેથી નક્કી કરેલું હોય. લગ્ન એ શું છે ઇન્ડિયામાં પહેલેથી નક્કી કરેલું હોય એવું પોએટ કહે છે. The poet explaining the India marriage predetermined, and the poet considered to beginning the poem. Marriage unites two human beings. Marriage શું કરે છે? Marriage unites two human beings. Marriage unites two human beings. બે આત્માઓને જોડે છે, બે માણસોને જોડે છે. Marriage unites two souls also, and who never want to be separated. બંને આત્માઓને, બંને હ્યુમન બીંગને જોડે છે ને ક્યારે પણ જુદા થવાના નથી. This is the purpose in this particular poem. The initial excitement is described in these humanities and these lines. This poem is written in 5 stanzas. The poem divided into 5 stanzas. I have written on the board. The poem divided into 5 stanzas. Each stanza has 4 lines. દરેક stanzaમાં કેટલી લાઈન છે? 4 લાઈન છે. So friends, I read the first stanza. Just listen very carefully Lovers when they marry face. Lovers when they marry face. Eternity with touching grace. Eternity with touching grace. Complacement of being face. Never to be separated. The poet has portrayed the image of the bride. In this stanza, the poet has portrayed, the poet has explained the different image of the bride and bridegroom. Bride એટલે નવવધુ, નવી પરણેલી જે સ્ત્રી હોય એના માટે શબ્દ વપરાયેલો છે bride, અને bridegroom એટલે જેને આપણે વર તરીકે બોલીએ છીએ, એનો હસબન્ડ હોય એના માટે શબ્દ વપરાયેલો છે. The bride looks pretty during the time of the marriage. The bride looks very pretty, looks very beautiful, looks very smart, and also in her natural dress. During the time of the marriage, the bride looks very pretty. She wore a very beautiful dress and she wanted to be attractive. She wanted to be attractive during the time of the marriage. The poet explains these things. Also, the bridegroom is too lucky. The bridegroom is too lucky to get the hands of the beautiful bride. To get the hands of such a beautiful bride. એનો હસબન્ડ પણ એટલો જ લકી છે કે આટલી સુંદર મજાની પત્ની એના હાથમાં આપવાની છે, સુંદર મજાની પત્ની એને મળવાની છે, સુંદર મજાની પત્ની સાથે લગ્ન કરવાનું છે. પોએટ આ ફર્સ્ટ સ્ટાન્જામાં આ રીતનું વર્ણન કરે છે. The poet is explaining the first stanza. The poet is explaining the first stanza. But joy and pleasure do not remain forever. Poet શું કહે છે? But joy and pleasure do not remain forever. જિંદગીમાં આ જે આનંદ છે એ ક્યારે અવિરત રહેતો નથી. લગ્નની શરૂઆતમાં જે આનંદ હોય અને લગ્ન જીવનના થોડા વર્ષો પછી જે અનુભૂતિ થતી હોય, જે અનુભવ મળે છે, એ કંઈક જુદો હોય છે. કવિ આવું કહે છે. The poet explains the various stages of the love in the marriage also. The poet explains the various stages of the love in the marriage also, so that the poet have given the various phases. The poet has given various facets of love in the marriage. This is the main theme of the poet. This is the main theme of the poet. They have faced the reality of life. During the time of the marriage, the bride and the bridegroom together. At that time, they have to face the reality of the life. They have to face the reality of the life. એના પછી એ જિંદગીની વાસ્તવિકતાને સમજે છે. Which is not always pleasing. Which is not always pleasing. પછી એમને ખબર પડે છે કે આ જે વાસ્તવિકતા છે, આ જે રિયાલિટી છે, એ ઓલવેઝ એટલે કે દરરોજ હંમેશના માટે આનંદદાયક હોતી નથી. The poet has also expressed his own terrible experiences. I have mentioned the poet has explained his own terrible experiences in this particular poem, like which pathetic and gloomy. ઘણીવાર લગ્ન પેથેટિક લાગતા હોય છે, દયા ઉપજાવે એવા લાગતા હોય છે. Thus the poet is aware of the poet is aware of the happiness and unhappiness. Happy and unhappy. The poet also wants to, the poet explains the two stages, happiness and unhappiness, in this particular poem. The poet accepts both sides of the human life. The poet accepts both sides of the human life. આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં કહીએ છીએ કે સિક્કાની બે બાજુ હોય છે. એમ જિંદગીમાં પણ કંઈક એવું બને છે, લાઈફમાં પણ કંઈક એવું બને છે. એટલે પોએટ કહે છે કે the poet accepts the two sides of the life by presenting the primal fall. The ironic language of the poet is obvious in the next line. Friends, in front of you. Now I start. Now I explain the second stanza of the poem Marriage, written by Mr. Ezekiel. The bride is always sleeping in the room. A lucky man, the darkened room. શું કહે છે? A lucky man in the darkened room roars out of the joy, flesh and blood. The use of Mercadesh is good. I went through this believing all. Our love denied the primer fall. Worldness, we walked along the trees and I felt immortal as the breeze. What I have mentioned, this is written in this stanza. The poet presents the vicissitudes of the human life. Vicissitudes and the bhagya parivartan of the human life. There is a struggle in the organization and continuations of the human happiness, love and hate. The poet explains love and hate. Love and hate. Both are the contrast. Love and hate. Meeting and separation. The poet explained two sides of the life. Two sides, love and hate. Love is the first side and the heritage is the second side. Meeting and separation. Meeting એટલે મિલન. પ્રેમ હોય, લગ્ન હોય, ત્યાં શું હોય? મિલન હોય. પણ મીટિંગની સાથે સાથે સેપરેશન પણ હોય છે, જુદાઈ. Happiness and unhappiness are the essence of the human relationship. These are the essence. આ એક જિંદગીનો સાર છે. These are the essence of the human relationship. But in India, poet explained, marriage is treated the heavenly love, and it is the religious section. In India, poet explained. The marriage is a one kind of the religious section. ધાર્મિકતા સાથે જોડેલું છે. લગ્ન એ ધાર્મિક બંધન છે. સાથે સાથે એને દૈવીય પ્રેમ તરીકે ઓળખવામાં આવે છે. In the Western civilization and culture, marriage in India is not a temporary. Western civilization માં શું હોય છે મિત્રો? Marriage is a temporary bondage. It's a one kind of the bondage. You sign the contract for 1 year. You stay 1 year with your bride or bridegroom, and after finishing the contract of the 1 year or 2 years, you separated. But in India, not like this. In India, marriage is not a temporary thing. And any kind of economic bond. ઇન્ડિયામાં લગ્ન કોઈ એક જાતનું એમ કે ઇકોનોમિક બંધન નથી, ટેમ્પરરી નથી. In India, marriage is a forever. Marriage has religious favor in India. In India, poet explained, the marriage has the religious section. It depends on faith. In India, આપણે લગ્ન કરીએ એટલે બહુ જોરદાર વિશ્વાસ હોય છે, ટ્રસ્ટ હોય છે, ફેથ, લવ, એકબીજાને પ્રેમ કરતા હોઈએ છીએ, ડિવોશન, સમર્પણની ભાવના હોય છે લગ્ન કરીએ ત્યારે, એન્ડ રિસ્પેક્ટ ટુ ઈચ અધર. અને ઇન્ડિયામાં લગ્નમાં શું હોય છે? રિસ્પેક્ટ ટુ ઈચ અધર. The pain and suffering supplement the marriage and it strengthens this unfiled bond. Okay, thank you friends. Tomorrow I will discuss another stanza. Just